Hello and good evening, members. Welcome to another live destination learning session. And today we'll be covering the beautiful destination Bhutan. Well, what can I say personally about the beauty of Bhutan? Words will fall short to describe its beauty. And to unravel this beauty, today we have with us Mr. Kinley, founder at GoZimbo. We have a beautiful presentation coming up for you. Also, stay tuned for the Q&A session. If you have any question, do post them in the live chat and we'll be taking them up. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you, Harshit. Thank you.
So, sir, before we actually begin, can you give a brief overview, like what can our audience expect from today's session?
Okay. First of all, Harshit, thank you for this opportunity. I would like to personally thank TravClan Fertility, the TravClan team as well. I think at this moment, all the travel fertility, not just in Bhutan, not just in India, I think around the globe, I think we are the one industry who is actually facing a lot of problems. And it's the same thing that is going here in Bhutan as well. But hats off to TravClan, who has been continuously updating the travel updates. What are the things that can people get after the COVID thing is over. So I would like to thank once again for TravClan and then Harshit for organizing this webinar. I am Killer Abdul. I'm the founder and then CEO for the company called GoZimbo. We are locally based here in Bhutan, and then we are head office here in the capital city of Bhutan, which is Thimphu. So we are the local DMCs for Bhutan here, and then today I'll be especially touching upon what are the things that the travel agents and the customers from India, could expect during their visit to Bhutan. So uh, I was talking earlier also that maybe it's most of the travel agents and the customers already know where Bhutan is and its the background history of the country and everything. But then I thought maybe it's very important for us to know and then tell our customers out there and then our clients out there, our B2B partners out there, that what are the things that can be expected and what are the problems that have been faced by our travelers earlier when they're traveling to Bhutan. So I'll be touching on how the entry permits and then permit processes, how it's been done, and then what are the the route entries towards Bhutan, and then I'll be touching upon some of the tours and activities that one can expect while in Bhutan. So yeah, pretty much on that, Rakshit. Should I start with the presentation, Rakshit?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, so I'll just share my screen, my PowerPoint. Okay, so this webinar is brought by TravClan, and then I'll be presenting upon what things to be expecting, while traveling to Bhutan. So after this thing, we'll have intro video, which you'll go through, and then it gives a glimpse idea of what people can expect while coming to Bhutan. Uh, I hope you all enjoyed the video, uh, uh, which actually covers up almost as a wholesome on what one can expect from Bhutan, starting from the hike to the tiger nest, and then the Buddha statue in Thimphu, the helicopter tours, and everything. So, starting with that, let me tell you where Bhutan actually lies. Most of the people in India, I think, our friend India, most of people actually get confused that where Bhutan actually is, and I'm sure most of the people also don't know where Bhutan is actually. Right? So, Bhutan is on the southern slope of the eastern Himalayas, landlocked between the Tibetan region of the China to the north, and then Indian states of Sikkim, West Bengal, and Assam to the west and south, and then Indian states of Arunachal Pradesh to the east. So you can pretty easily see Bhutan, where Bhutan is. So I think it's very close to India. Now, when we talk to people, then most of the people say that why Bhutan? So I would say that Bhutan, because it's a country where it's been ruled and by our great monarchs, true people's king. That's why we are very blessed. Our country is been very prosperous because of their guidance and their blessings. The second thing is we are the birth country of the philosophy called gross national happiness. Uh, we are also the top sustainable green destination, which also we where Bhutan received Earth Award in 2018 and Gold Award in 2019 out of the top 100 sustainable destination in the world for its sustainable and green initiatives. We are the only carbon negative country in the world as of now. Bhutan is the only country with no traffic lights. Uh, the country is very peaceful and safe for the travelers to come here, travel, and then be safe while traveling. We have one of the pristine environments, beautiful mountains, friendly people. We have also a very unique culture and tradition like you have in India, and we are more into organic farmings. Let me touch upon also on the entry to Bhutan. I think we have two airlines in the country as of now. One is solely operated by the private company, Tashi Commercial Company, which is Tashi Air, Bhutan Airlines. And then one is the corporate, which is owned by the government, which is called Ruk Air. So here in the picture, you will see two routes where the flights actually take place. And then you can see here from India, from where you can travel. Where you can take the flights from. You can see we have flights from Delhi, we have flights from Mumbai, we have flights from Kolkata, we have flights from Bagdogra, we have flights from Guwahati, we have flights from Bangladesh, we have direct flights from Bangkok, and also from Singapore and Kathmandu. And now those people who actually wants to travel by the road, because I see last 7 years when I was working with mostly with the Indian tourists, I think most of the people actually come by road, and that is actually you. Some people fly directly to Bagdogra to Siliguri, and then from Siliguri they take the route till Jaigong, which is the border area to Bhutan with India, and then from there, Phinseling, they actually enter to Bhutan. So as of now, we by road if you want to travel. I just want to inform that Phinseling is the only gateway to enter to Bhutan. Okay, and then Gelifu as is also opening very soon, which falls on the northeast side of the country where people can enter from Guwahati and Assam, and then Samzuka as well. These are the two places which the government is actually planning ahead to make it very smooth for people to enter to Bhutan. So these are two routes by route which will be opening very soon. To touch upon the domestic airports, while you are here in Bhutan, and if you want to travel to the central part of the country and then the eastern part, core east part of the country, then you can take the domestic flights, where the flights actually takes from Paro to Buntang, and then we have from Paro to Tashivang, and we have also from Paro to Gelifu. So these are the internal domestic airports that one can avail the services while they're here in Bhutan. So what happens is most of the people that actually come to Bhutan, and then most of people doesn't know that there's a domestic airports been instituted in Bhutan. So most of the people, they would actually take the road at the end of the tour, where they would actually cover very lesser destinations, or the lesser places in Bhutan. So that's why whenever I work with my B2B partners in India, I would always recommend them that if their clients have lesser duration and want to travel till the eastern part or the central part of the Bhutan, they could actually take the flights directly from Paro International Airport, and then they could actually, have that, covered up in this in their very short duration of time while in Bhutan. Uh, this is something that I think most of the people are actually confused of, visa and entry permits. So I'll little bit touch upon this visa and entry permits. Visa and entry permits, it's an exceptional for India, Bangladesh, and Maldives, where they don't have to pay us $250, but they can travel easily into Bhutan with just declaring their valid passport, which is again a minimum of 6 months validity, and then either showing or declaring their voter ID card. So this is for all Indian tourists, Bangladesh, and then Maldives who wants to travel to Bhutan. And if you're traveling directly by flights, okay, and then you can get your visa stamped directly from the airport if you declare your valid voter ID card and then valid passports. You don't need to get your visas or things done earlier, but you can get directly from the airport, international airport, in the powder stamped directly there, which again is a validity of 7 days. And if you're staying more than 7 days, then you might have to upgrade that while you're here in Thimphu, or going to the immigration Department of Immigration office, and then upgrade from there. Okay. And then the another thing is online regional permit system, which is also developed. I'm sure most of the travel agents in India are aware of that one as well. But I also want to bring this up for some people who actually are not very sure about it. The travelers who are traveling to Bhutan, they can also get their permits done beforehand, okay, before traveling to Bhutan. It's a pre thing. So for that, you would actually require a travel agent, a local travel agent here in Bhutan, and either you have to that visa has to be done by hoteliers, where you are actually putting up. So these are two things that you can do, but you can't do it by going yourself online and then trying to get permits by yourself. That is not been allowed by the regulation or the concerned agencies right now, but it's fully given rights to the local travel agency in Bhutan and the hoteliers. So if you're pre-planning to come, if you're planning to come to Bhutan, and if you want to have your visas done before you travel, then these are some of the things that you might want to keep in mind as well. And some of the travelers who actually travel by themselves, by bringing their cars themselves, by not routing through any travel agents or local travel agents here in Bhutan, I think there are some of the things that they also need to understand is to get the online forms downloaded, regional permits form to be downloaded online, and then fill it up upfront in advance. So it's always better when you go to the immigration office in Fintoling, then you don't have to fill up, and it saves a lot of time for the travelers. And I see most of the people, they drive their own cars. So for that also, you'll get forms downloaded from the Royal Safety, the road safety website, where you need to also register your vehicles down there. So vehicles, I think it costs you about $500 to register, and the permits are absolutely free if you do it by yourself down there. These are two things, because most of the earlier I had an experience where I used to get a call from my Indian friends who would come in a bike, taking their own bikes here. So the problem they face is they they actually don't plan it earlier, and then maybe they might have heard from someone else, and it's easier to do it. But when they come here, it becomes all up and down, and their permits are not been done. They don't know where to go to get their permits for their motorbikes and all. So I would definitely urge all the travelers who are traveling by themselves, and even the travel agents down there, to actually get those forms downloaded, pre-departure of your clients, and they get it fill up form. And if you have partners here in Bhutan, then you can directly send to them, and then they would actually process everything for your clients. But as for Gozimbo, what we do is we have our office down there in Sinsoling. I have my team down there who actually handles everything. So in a process, we don't allow our clients to actually stand up in the line queue and then get their visas done. So we actually what we do is we keep our guests in the hotel. My team actually does all the formalities of filling up the forms, getting the sign from the clients, from the guests, stamping up their half photo, and then getting the permits done. So at the end of the day, only like whenever they need to be done, their thumbprints like has to be done. So it should be done physically. So that time only we ask our guests to come into the office. They do it, thumbprint it, and they get approved. And then it's done easy. So it actually saves time for our guests, and it's very much comfortable for our guests. I think these are the services that we actually really focus when our clients are traveling from the route by Finsoling. So if you have any problems on regard to visa and entry permits and all, I think later on we can take up some questions, and then I might answer some of the questions on that. Places to visit and activities. I'll roughly touch upon this one because I think most of the people know already what are the things that one can see, and then while in Bhutan. I'll be briefly touching up on Paro, places to visit. Paro is an international airport we have in Bhutan. Thimphu is the capital city of Bhutan. Ha Valley. Ha Valley has been, it's been, uh, locked for the tourists for a couple of years, and then it's been actually opened very recently. It's been 1 decade, some 1 decades down the line. It's been open, and then it's open for tourists now. So it's about 3 hours drive from Paro International Airport. We have Punakha Valley as well. We have Gante Valley, we have Trongsa, and we'll have Buntang. Activities wise, there are a lot of things. I would always tell my clients, or I would always tell my, guest who is planning to travel to Bhutan, I always tell them that if you're really looking at beach, and then the bigger nightlives, and then shopping, the bigger shoppings and all, I think then Bhutan is the not right place actually for them to travel. Bhutan is, I tell them it's all about wellness. We have a lot of festivals, like in India. We have more temples and monasteries. We have fortresses, which were built very long time ago. We have homestay experiences. I think these are some of the homestay experiences. Something that most of the guests coming from India, they really love it because it actually touches upon the experiences part of the life. We have trekking and hiking. I think trekking and hiking is something that we have not really got much of interest from the Indian region. We have rafting, we have helicopter tours, we have culinary experiences, we have biking tours, we also have activities like learning gross national happiness. What is gross national happiness? So we have local foods where people can try local foods. It's the same in India as well. We have a lot of local foods out there as well. So I think we are also very special in our local foods. And in terms of experiences, also like luxury experiences, one can also have that luxury experiences by staying in one of the, the five-star hotels, renowned five-star hotels we have in Bhutan. Now I'll go briefly to the Paro. What one can see while in Paro, what are the activities? I think Paro Tiger Nest is a must-visit place. I know everyone who's traveling to Bhutan will always talk about the Tiger Nest, which is very popular. It's the popular destination or popular sightseeing that can be done while in Bhutan, and no one wants to actually miss that opportunity. So Tiger-nest is one thing. While in Paro, we have Paro Rimpung Zong, which is again a fortress in Paro. We have the oldest temple. We have oldest temple called Kichul Hakang, which was also built in 7th century. Mostly we have Paro festival, which is very popular festival. They say we could not actually do it because of the COVID pandemic and all. It was supposed to be done on March and April, but due to this pandemic, nothing could happen. So we have National Museum as well. So these are some of the sightseeing that you can roughly touch upon. In Paro also there are so many homestays experiences that you can have. I could not actually put up all the pictures over here, but there are a lot of homestays experiences that you can have. You can, have an experience of culinary, cooking one of the favorite dish of Bhutanese called emadasi, which I am sure most of you know about that one. It's a chili cheese. We Bhutanese are very fond of chili, and then it's difficult sometimes for us to actually live without it. So while you are here, your clients are here, you can always tempt them to try the hottest chili in Bhutan. So these are some of the things that you can do in Paro. This roughly I'm touching up, but if you have any questions, I will definitely try to answer those questions. And now from Paro drive to Thimphu, it's about 1 hour drive from Paro International to the capital city of Bhutan. And then once you reach there, one can view the largest Buddha statue we have, the Buddha Totenma statue. If you are coming here in the fall of year, like this time of the year, October and September, you will have, your clients would get to see the beautiful festivals that we have, the bigger festivals we have. So it's a peak season right now, but again, due to the pandemic, it's all closed down and nothing is happening right now. And we have this Thimphu Tashichezong. This is a king's office. It sits as a king's office as well. We have monastic bodies as well, and the half of the fortress is also, we have the offices, government offices there. So this is also one of the magnificent, the fortress that we have in the capital city, where most of the tourists actually visit. We have Memorial Choten just down below that one. If you can see the pictures, it's a Memorial Choten. It's also a popular, the temple which was built in dedication to our late third Druk third king. One can again go and then hike up either or drive and then see the zoo. And in the zoo you would actually see one of the rare species or the rare animal you might want to say. It's called takin. It's a head of a goat and then a body of a cow. So it's a very unique species that we have and we preserve in that zoo. We have for shoppings, we have the handicrafts. In the heart of the town, you will have the stretch of the craft bazaar. you will see there, and it's all locally made here. So if you want to take back souvenirs, I would recommend this would be the place to actually get all the locally made, uh, handcrafted products from Bhutan. And you would see simply Bhutan is also one of the, the model kind of village, you would say, in the heart of the town in Thimphu, where it's normally want to showcase people that how the lives are there in the back home, during the olden days in the village, or how it used to be. So because now Thimphu is being very growing very fast, so all the structures coming up, and then we've been losing lots of, the olden structures. So most of the people who comes to Thimphu, we're not able to actually see what are the olden structures, or how we Buddhists used to live early years. So these are the model cities that you can see and check out. You will get a very delicious locally made food made in the clay pot. They will they would organize a local dance performance. Even the march dance and everything can be performed there as well. So I think you don't want to miss that one as well. And then we have this local folk heritage museum. That is also quite similar. It's also a model kind of heritage kind of house that we Buddhists used to stay a long time ago, back in the village and all. Now Har Valley. Har Valley, most of the people actually do it as a day excursion. Morning they would go there by crossing the Chelila Pass, which is like Chelila Pass is one of the famous places where I think the Indian tourists would actually go there, because it's up top in the mountain, and you can literally see the clouds just beneath you. You can feel the air. You can feel you being on the top of the world. So that's why most of the Indian tourists, they would love to travel up to the Chelila Pass, which is about 4,000 meters above sea level. And then declining from there, Chelila Pass, you would actually arrive Har Valley, which is from Chelila Pass, it's about 30 minutes drive from Chelila Pass. Once you be there in Har Valley, you would, temple wise, there's a few temples, which is Thagang Karpo and Thagang Napo, which is very famous in Har Valley. If you translate in English, Thagang Nap means it's a black temple and a white temple. So there's two temples you can view, which is also just nearby the highway road. And Har Valley is basically it's a destination, or it's a place where people can really get in touch with the local communities. Here you would see a picture of an Indian guest who is also experiencing, the local food there, local cuisines there, sitting down with the family, the house owner, and then the house owner sharing their life stories, their experiences. They are very much overwhelmed when they receive a guest from outside. So I think these are some of the experiences that our guests, can take back home while finishing the travel from Bhutan. You'll see, people enjoying the architect. People can do a hiking in Har Valley also. So I think overall, Har Valley is also a place where you can spend a night there, take the whole, experiences, like the local cuisines, culinary experiences are there. They have the local dishes who actually prepare. So you can also try that. We call it hinte. It's kind of momo, but it's a different dish. It's called hinte in our local language. So you can try preparing that one with the local host as well there. So hot stone bath is also one of the highlight experiences that one can take from Har Valley. So normally, I would always suggest that if you're going to Har Valley, also you should at least spend one night there and then have the experience. Going back to Gante Valley. Now, Gante Valley, it's like crossing Punakha on the way to Buntang. Okay, so from Punakha to Gante, it's about 3 hours drive. And once you reach there, you can see in the picture that Gante, probably, most of the people would know it as the Punakha Valley, but it's called Gante Valley as well. So it's the largest wetland we have in Bhutan, and it sits as a house for the black-necked cranes. In winter, it's a home for black-necked cranes. They fly from Tibet, they stay here. So it's totally preserved by the RSP and the local agencies, the government. So here, you can't, put up the electricity poles and everything, so that when the black-necked cranes comes in, they would actually land it very peacefully. They have the open space, so that's why it's kind of preserved place. So you see that lands are actually very open and all. There's one temple you will definitely want to visit, is the Gante temple. So that is one thing. And then in November, we have this Gante Crane Festival. So that is very famous for Gante. So the local communities there would actually celebrate the Crane Festival there, because that is a particular day or the time or the month when the cranes are about to come from Tibet. So the valley would be actually waiting for the cranes to actually come and then land on their place. So this, and apart from there, in Gante Valley, what one can do is you can do a cycling there. The very good cycling routes you will have there. You can do hiking there, and there are a lot of local experiences you can have. Like, again, starting from culinary, starting from getting along with the local communities, visiting schools. There's so many local activities. I think those are some of the takeaways. You can have it while you're in Gante Valley. And you will have all those, uh, you know starting from the local homestays till the 5-star hotels you will have in Gante as well. So accommodation wise is not a problem there. Now Punakha Valley, I think Punakha, it has one of the beautiful fortress, like you just see here. It's a Punakha fortress. So one can view that one as well while being in Punakha. This is the Namgi Yule Chuten, where one can take a hike. Uh, it's probably about 40 minutes hike from the base. One can experience a rafting in Punakha Valley, which will actually cross through the Punakha fortress. And there's one famous temple as well. It's called Chimilagam, where we would call in the local terms as a Chimilagam. But if you translate it directly, it is called No Dog Temple. So these days you go there you would see a lot of dogs. But in early days, it's also called as Chimilagam means it's no dog temple. So yeah, there are a lot of histories, but I don't want to actually go on, explaining everything. Just touch upon a brief where people can see what people can do while they're in Punakha Valley and all. Right. Buntang Valley is in the central region of the country. I think most of the Indian tourists actually don't go there, because taking in the hand or traveling, at the max, I would take about 6 nights, 7 days. So it's very difficult for a particular guest to actually cover everything or during those duration. So whenever we expect clients from India, it's around 6 nights or 5 nights or 4 nights. That are the maximum. And then they would always choose to go till the Western Bhutan. They would cover just the Western Bhutan, the Paro, Thimphu, and Punakha. But I always urge people to go beyond that one, because Buntang Valley is also a very beautiful valley. It's a holy place, a lot of temples, a lot of sacred sites you would see, a lot of festivals going on there. And we locally we call it as a next second Switzerland. The landscapes are very big. The pine trees are very beautiful there. The area cover are very beautiful. Like, the experiences are definitely going to be one of the highlights one can take from there. You would see here the river flowing. People might be wondering what this is actually, but it's a burning lake. It's a secret site as well. Again, it's a lot of histories back those days. So I think there are a lot of holy places that one can visit. And then again, in terms of hotels and all, I think starting from five-star hotel to the local homestays, you can opt from any of those accommodation. So you would pretty much have the whole experience there as well. So normally when people are traveling to Bhutan, if they're thinking of traveling to Buntang, so I would always suggest them either they have to spend one night in Thimphu or Punakha and then go directly to Buntang. So Buntang has a larger area to cover up, and then most people when they go reach there only they will realize that they want to spend more days there. So beforehand, we always tell our customers that it's always better, you know, you choose lesser days in the western part of the country and then more on the outer part of the country. I think it's far from the city. The whole areas are like just like you go into a village and you will see people working in the field. So these are some these are some of the experiences that you totally have different experiences while you go from Thimphu to Buntang as well within the country. Okay, so lastly, I just want to touch up on the recent visit of Anushka Sharma and then Virat Kohli, uh, very big celebrities in India. Uh, well, see, when they came here, I think these are some of the takeaways they did take away from visiting Bhutan. And then whenever I tell my clients, Bhutan is a place where it actually gives you a touch of happiness. And if you really want to make your customer happy and then take back home the happiness and then share that happiness within their family, I think that is one core thing that we as an ambassador of our own country we try to do and share the information. So see here in the picture, you would see Anushka Sharma and then Virat Kohli just sitting in one of the old, local house. And on the in the article also, if you read it out, you would find it out that this family never knew that who they are, what background they have, if they are celebrities or if they are stars or if they are billionaire or if they are poor, rich. They didn't bother about that one. The fact that touched Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma at that moment was they were just hiking from doing one of the hiking in Paro, and the family members actually saw them, identified them. They traveling along the route, so they actually invited them to their house to have a tea and a biscuits and all. I think earlier they thought that the family members actually knew them, but later on, Anushka Sharma, when they asked one of the family, the lady here, the daughter, then she answered saying that they don't know where they are from and then who they are. That is what actually took away Anushka Sharma from where she was, and then she was so overwhelmed by the hospitality and then the kindness that the the poor family actually the family members that they showed to them. I think that was one key thing takeaway that she took from Bhutan. That happiness sharing and then kindness and then the hospitality that you share with unknown person also. So here you will see again Anushka Sharma and Virat Kohli in one of the beautiful site. I think in a Jomalhari. It's a lake there. It's a very beautiful site. If you do a trekking, it's about a 7 days or 5 days trek from here. But normally people who really want to do very fast trip, they could actually avail the service of helicopter services. So these are some of the things that actually I want to touch up today. And then, I always make a point whenever I have a guest from India, always make a point to actually visit them during the end of their trip. I will take a souvenir and then go there. I always tell them that we Bhutanese, we have a culture, you know, from the early days itself. Whenever we have like the old lady did here by inviting Virat Kohli and then Anushka Sharma at their home, we have this culture of asking people. If you see people going along your house, you have a tendency to ask them to come visit their home, have a tea, have a biscuits, and then send them home. Because I know in India also, you say that mehman uh, bogan jaisa hota hai. So it's the same concept, but in a different manner. So here also we consider guests as our god. They bring a lot of fortunes, a lot of luck, a lot of experiences, a lot of love from different part of the countries. So I always tell them that. So whenever I hand over this gift, it's a token of love, from us as a Bhutan as a whole. We give them, and then I always tell them that when you ever travel to Bhutan, it's not that you are traveling here and spending your money, but I always tell them that it's you. I always consider you all as a ethical traveler, because when you travel to Bhutan, whatever the money that you're actually bringing in or paying in, I think for a travel fraternity like us, you also know that we have a large number of people who are directly or indirectly involved in this segment. So I always tell them that because of you, most of the people are getting, earned. They are having a livelihood. They can take back something back home. After their work. So that that message of being ethical is uh, also in the note that we in the remote places also it's difficult for children to get an education. So whenever we have guests coming in, the tax that we pay to the government and then royalties that we pay to the government are all gone back to those communities building up, government building up the schools. We have free educations, we have free health facilities. So I think all those actually goes back to those communities. So I always thank them for contributing to our community, helping us to build our society as one. And then I definitely look forward to actually, inviting all my travel partners here uh, to once the pandemic is done gone, to look for. We are looking forward to actually welcome back you here in Bhutan. So, yep, thank you so much. If you have any questions, then we can take that one, Rakshit. And then before that, I also want to wish everyone here a happy Dasara to all of you. Yep, thank you. Yep, Rakshit, any questions we can take in? Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this indeed beautiful, crisp, and informative presentation.
Thank you, Rakshit. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think I'm very glad to uh, get this opportunity to actually talk to and then share my views as a whole. So I think, yeah, I'm really happy to share those small. I'm not that professional, but I tried my best to actually share whatever that I have known for last 10 years into this industry. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, according to me, the part where you shared that the locals, even if they don't realize that the famous celebrities have come to visit them, they still
Mhm.
respect them and treat them for the beautiful human beings they are. So that actually,
Mhm.
summarizes the beauty of Bhutan and why Bhutan is so beautiful. I'm sure our
Thank you
viewers
so
will
much.
like this. Also, audience, now is the time to and so that you can start posting your queries and we'll be taking them up one by one. We already have received a couple of questions, so let me
Okay.
just ask them. So first question is from Mr. Shivam Gupta. He is
Okay.
asking that when will Bhutan open for Indian tourists?
Hi, Shivam ji. Happy Dasara to you as well. Thank you for the questions. I think very good question. Everyone has been asking this one. Even we, as the stakeholder here in is living here, staying here in Bhutan, we are also, time to time uh, talking to the stakeholders and asking when it's going to open. I think Shivamji, I think the government has a plan to open up earlier this October, but that plan didn't took off because then the government was actually in the dilemma whether to have this 21 days quarantine or 7 days quarantine or what are the things that could be done. So that bubble tourism was not actually happening because the Tourism Council of Bhutan's understanding of bubble tourism is that either of the countries has to accept that now the bubble tourisms can happen. If the another country is not ready for exposing tourism or then sending out their people outside, then it's never going to happen. So that is one point that the Tourism Council of Bhutan has mentioned. And we did recently in their conference they have mentioned that by March they're hopefully gonna open up. But again, when we are talking about March, they are also not really sure now what are the norms or what are the policies that are gonna put up in maintaining the SOP for this pandemic. So Shubhamji, I think we'll definitely keep in touch with you, and then we have TravClan and we have Raksit here. We'll definitely keep updating TravClan on this one so that they can follow up and then share the same information to all the travel members who are already connected with TravClan. So thank you, Shubhamji, once again for the question.
Let's hope that, virus willing, we are soon able to travel again and we can visit Bhutan.
Definitely, Rakshiti. We are doing a lot of prayers here. I'm sure we all will get out of this very soon. I know all of us are in the same boat right now. We are sailing in the same boat. So let's pass that wave together. Let's battle this together, and then let's get it back together. Yep. Thank you, Shivam.
Yes.
Shivamji. Yeah.
So next question is from Sri Maharaja Tour and Travels. So as you know that
Okay.
India has decided to imply the TCS rule where on every foreign tours TCS has to be collected. So how will it impact the tourism for Bhutan?
Uh, Thank you so much for the question as well. I think these are some of the questions that we also asked. I think most of the travel agents in India have the same question. We as a stakeholder locally we here have the same thing. Yesterday evening, I actually had a dialogue with one of the marketing heads of the Tourism Council of Bhutan, asking on the same thing. It's here. It's called SDF. It's the Sustainable Development Fund that has to be collected for $250. Being foreign tourists, we have it's already included in $250. But for now, for Indian regional tourists, the Department of Tourism Council of Bhutan has actually fixed to 1,200 per person per night. I think it's really gonna impact on the tourism segments coming from the regional thing. But here we also want to very we want to clear that out that we Bhutan is very small thing, Rashid. We are very small. I think even half of the people from one state, half of the people comes from India also to Bhutan. We will be never able to fit them in. So I think that respect, I think you know, we always expect from our bigger brother, that is India. So we also, when we respect that one to you, I think we also, expect that from our bigger brother saying that, Bhutan is very small. So we have this tourism policy called high value, low volume. So that is what actually Tourism Council of Bhutan are more focusing on. And then I think this policy is one policy that has actually kept Bhutan very pristine for so long. I'll tell you the fact. I think most of the country you go and see Bangkok, it has totally changed. You go to see Nepal, I think it has been changed a lot. When you meet a tourist, they would say what they have seen Nepal in the last 10 years, and then what they have seen right now is totally different. So I think these are some of the takeaways that we as a Bhutanese government actually took that up to have that policies, and that policies has been intervened or the invented by our fourth grade His Majesty the King. So just to keep that policy intact, I think that's why the government is taking that step. And I'm sure, I'm definite that it's going to really impact on the tourism segment, because we've been also having a dialogue saying that there are so many budget hotels here in Bhutan. Who are the people who's going to occupy that one? There's so many, two-star hotels, which as of now are being occupied by the regional tourists. To save costs, they would actually occupy all those standard hotel and then budget hotel. But now, if with all those SDF policies coming in, I think that's gonna really affect the volume that comes from India. I totally agree on that one. That will definitely affect. That will definitely draw, attention from the clients not going to Bhutan. I should say, but having said that, we have this policy again to keep this country pristine, and then I think that is one key thing that the government is also looking on. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope I have answered the question.
Thank you so much for answering the question. I hope viewers' doubt has been cleared. So my question is, what is the best time to visit Bhutan? Like every country, every state has a best time that in that particular time the most of the beauty can be enjoyed.
I think Rakshit, the best time, I always tell, this is the same question I always receive from the people, right? If I say the peak season, they will never come because it's become peak. It's very crowded, and I would never recommend you coming in a crowded. Wherever you see, it's all tourists. It's just like you people traveling around. I think when you're traveling to Bhutan, I think we have four seasons, right? Of summer, autumn, spring, and winter. So every season you come, it has its own beauty, it has its own charm. So I think I won't answer to that question saying that this is a particular season that you need to travel, but I would say all year round, you want to travel to Bhutan, you will see its own kind of beauty. So yeah, Rashid, anytime you can travel to Bhutan.
All right. Thank you so
But
much.
yes, of course, if you're looking at festivals, particularly on festivals, you want to come and then you have this festival. Then October is the season, like October, from September, October, the main peak season starts. So these are the seasons where most of the tourists actually come and visit, because festivals are happening. Then the photography, also the views are very nice. So yeah, I should.
Thank you so much for answering my question. Next question is from Travelo Culture, and he is asking,
Okay.
what are some traditional cuisines? Like, can you name few of them, and also share some of the famous restaurants to experience such cuisines?
Thank you so much for the question, Traveler. I think the local cuisines, that there are many, I think, but the special takeaway, or the your client want to try is the emadasi. We call chili cheese. But apart from there are a lot of meat, non-veg items as well, where you can try it up. And in terms of the famous restaurants, local food you want to try while you are here in Thimphu city, we have Bavisa Village Restaurant, which is again, that restaurant is built. Uh, that house is about 400 years old. So that owner actually, had this idea to make this 400-year-old structure into a restaurant, and that restaurant would actually serve the local cuisines. So you can go there, you can see how it's been prepared. They have this culinary experiences going on also. You can get in touch with them, and they can arrange that one for you. So one is this one, the Babisa Village Restaurant, and second one is the Flock Heritage, and then third one is the Simply Bhutan. So these are some of the restaurants that you can find all those local cuisines, best local cuisines. Yes, Rakshit, to you.
All right. I hope our viewer has got an idea about his question. So next
Mhm.
question, as you said that we are looking for a timeline of March that the tourism will revive and Bhutan will open up to the neighbors. So what can we expect, like what will be allowed as in for the quarantine rules and other policies that can be expected?
I think from March, if they accept, and then if Indian government is also ready to have this travel bubble aligned to the Bhutan policies and all, I think then not 21 days or 7 days. I think it's minimum of 3 days quarantine, or maybe maybe they have mentioned that maybe if they have this certificate of 48 hours thing that can be kept on observation. I think these are some of the things that still the governments are actually playing around and then looking for what best are for our travelers and what best are for our local community. So we have this SOP maintained where the travelers would receive and then get a full life experiences while they'll travel, but also keeping in mind that how we can maintain and then keep that disease away while they're traveling or while they're here. So these are some of the things that still governments are planning. No fixed rules or policies has been amended as of now, but once it comes in again, like I said earlier, I would definitely shoot those information to TravClan. Rakshiti is here. I'll definitely send him the documentaries or the PDF files on all those reports, and then accordingly, all the partners present here can access to those informations. Yep. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for answering this question. Next question from Mr. Blu-ray. He is asking, what are the possibilities for mice and what category tourists mostly visit in Bhutan?
Thank you so much, Blu-ray, for this question. I think Gozimbo is again. We are the one company who's actually looking at mice events happening. We have done a lot of mice events. I think it's a beautiful destination for mice event. But the only problem that we have here, Blu-ray, I think you should keep in also in mind is that you can't exceed your clients because we have minimum room capacities. Okay, so even if you are looking at the highest room capacity hotels in Bhutan, we have Le Méridien, Thimphu Le Méridien and Paro Le Méridien are there, which I am normally associated with. Whenever I have MICE events, I would actually take those two properties because they have the largest rooms capacity there. But still, we have to confine to at least, 100 people. You can't go ahead more than that. So I think MICE event wise is a very beautiful destination to bring your corporate clients here, do your meetings, the award ceremonies, anything like here. But one thing that you need to also understand is considering what volume you're bringing into the country. On miles, that is a thing that I want to tell. And then on other part, what are the activities or what is the tour packages is the culture for Indian tourists? I think it's always the culture. They come here, they mingle with the local communities. They would visit festivals, they would visit temples. Landscape is one thing that most of the Indian tourists actually love. Going by the river, having lunch over the riverside. I think very crystal clear rivers we have in Bhutan. So they would definitely love that one. And then mostly are there, most they want to go to the high mountains like the Chelila Pass, Dochula Passes are there. They're some of the highlight spots where Indian tourists go and visit. Most of them don't do this hiking and trekking. I think from when we have totally, if you are looking at the Indian market. Uh, but now, the car rally and all are also coming up, which I'm actually the local destination partner for one of the car rally. And then now biking tours are always there. I think Indian, clients are very, they love biking. So I think, riding a bike and then, doing that cross country tours on their bike. I think these are some of the tours, particularly the Indian clients actually choose. Thank you, Rashid. Over to you.
Yes. Next question is from Mr. Suryakant. I believe you mentioned that the clients that mostly visit Bhutan, they visit either for 4 to 5 nights or more than 7 nights. So he's asking that how much money is required for a 6 night stay if we are opting for a budget hotel, and what can be the average cost of food? Like if you can give a vague idea.
Uh, I think budget hotels now it really varies. You know, if it can go up to about 7,000 or 6,000 per person or 8,000 per person also, but it varies from the hotels. If you're looking at budget hotels, then now what budget hotels you're looking at? If it is a two-star hotel or one-star hotel, or what are the budget hotels? Again, I think when we are talking about budget hotel, we need to really segregate down there. What capacity of the rooms you're looking at with your clients? If they're sharing a room, quadrant rooms, or double sharing or single sharing, they're doing it, then that needs to be also considered while calculating the cost. But apart from that, I think this SDF thing has already taken place in Bhutan, collecting 1,200 per person per night from regional tourists. That has already, in place and already been taken off from last July 2020. That is one thing that will really, inflate the price for the customer who are looking for budget to traveling to Bhutan. So I think that considerations, if you can give me, then I can definitely break it down and then have the cost. But right now I can't really say you that this would be the cost to go like this and that. And then food also in a likewise manner, food also starts from 150 bucks. So you can start now dal bath or something, you want to have chapati, and then you have want to have roti, dal, and all. Then again, they have a different segment of the cost. So I think it will normally touch about every meal would touch about 150 bucks per person if you're looking on the budget segments. Yep. Thank you, Rashid. Over to you.
Thank you so much for answering this question. I remember that you said that Bhutan is a destination that is open for yearly, and you can visit it anytime. Anytime is beautiful. You will
Mhm.
witness different beauty of Bhutan every time you visit differently.
Right.
So,
Right.
our viewer is asking that is there any particular month or season that should be avoided if a senior citizen is traveling?
I think winter. Very very cold. I think our Indian friends are not very much fond of cold, or from south, or from the. I think from the north part of the Indonesian, they would normally can bear the cold, but I think again for some, it's very extreme. So I would always recommend not to travel with your, adult, higher citizens during the cold season. It's like start from December, January, and February. These are the three seasons that I would definitely not recommend if you're bringing in your grandparents or your senior citizens over to Bhutan. But having said that, again, there are again segments of older citizens who would actually love seeing it snows. I have a couple of clients coming in from India who love to see snows and all. So yes, definitely, I think the winter would be very extreme for them. So I would never recommend them to bring the senior citizens during those period of time. Yes, Rakshit.
I hope our viewer has got an idea. So the most important question. So when
Mhm.
someone from India wants to visit Bhutan, what are the modes of
Mhm.
transport available? Like I remember that you mentioned that you can visit via airport or by road. Is there any
Right, right.
possible, is there any other possible means of transport like railways that may be available or not?
Railways, Rakshit, we don't have railways connectivity to Bhutan right now. But railways within India till Siliguri NJP station or the Hashimara stations that you can take there. And from if you're coming till Hashimara, then I think it's about 25 minutes drive from or 30 minutes drive from Hashimara to the Jaigong, the border town. And then if you're taking the train till Siliguri, which is then from Siliguri to Jaigong, it's about 4 hours drive. So these are some of the options that if they want to take it, they can take it. But again, you have very cheaper flights going on regionally within India. So I think most of the clients, most of the customers, or most of the Indian tourists, they come to Bhutan. If they are planning to travel by road, then it's either they fly to Bagdora airport, and then from Bagdora they would actually take up a cab and then they would enter to Finchling. So yes, Harshit, these are some of the means. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for beautifully answering all the questions, and not only answering the questions, but also presenting a very beautiful and crisp presentation for our viewers. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you, Harshit.
And thank you, audience.
Thank you, Harshit. Thank you.
Thank you, audience. You took out your precious time to attend this session. I hope your doubts and queries were resolved. If you liked today's session, do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any such exciting learning webinars. Thank you everyone once again.